who is just on his own side of midfield. Fleming gets the kick away. It's short. Lewis from the Ottawa 50. Quickly ahead is Lewis. Crossed the 35-yard line and tripped up at the 32. And Tommy Jones will have outstanding field position to work with as the first quarter winds down. Tomorrow night on TSN, Wendy's Friday Night Football, Winnipeg versus Edmonton. Dave Randorf, Chris Schultz, and Jock Climbey in the studio. And a pretty good football game between the Blue Bombers and the defending Grey Cup champion.
Well, the Blue Bombers trying to rebound. In Edmonton, you know, when I was looking through the league statistics this morning, Gord, I was amazed to see that they've given up more yards defensively than any other team in the league, and that is non-Edmonton-like.
Fourth possession of the game for Calgary. 3 of those 4 have started in Ottawa territory. Empty backfield for Jones. Here comes the blitz. He unloads it, and it's incomplete. Looking over the middle, but that pass was tipped up in the air by Celicio Sanford and incomplete.
One of the criticisms that Matt Dunnigan had of Marcus Crandall, and one of the reasons why he's not playing, is that he just was never willing to stretch the defense and try to go to a more vertical game. And there's Marcus there, and I think it's going to be a while before he gets back in. Mike Souza, to me, would always be the second guy coming in now, but Tommy Jones, he said, will stretch a defense, but so far in this first quarter, they have really been going to the short passing game. Well, you got Kelly Wiltshire. Look at him right up here, the middle safety. You got a hole in the middle.
And quickly he unloads. Pass is caught, and that'll be good for a first down as he finds Mike Juhas down there, and that will be a first down for Calgary.
And that's a good read, because that's where you want to go. And I can only assume that Tommy Jones saw Kelly Wiltshire up on the line of scrimmage. That means the middle's open. That's where you attack, right there to Mike Juhas, the reliable slot back. And that is good recognition by the young quarterback and a nice read by his receiver, and you get an easy first down.
Gain of 15 for Juhas, who last week had 7 catches for Calgary and his first touchdown of the year. First down from the 16. Jones again unloads, but this time Juhas can't hang on as the coverage was provided very quickly by Dave Donaldson. Tommy Jones, we mentioned, Leaf, did not play a lot last year in college in Indiana because of tendonitis, and perhaps because of the shoulder and elbow problems he's had. He has what his coach Matt Dunnigan describes as a funky throwing motion.
Well, Matt said he's kind of a sidearm guy, but I must admit I watched him closely in the warm-up, as you and I both did, and I don't think it's that bad. I don't know. Matt says he's not going to mess around with it right now, or not at this time of the year, but you think it's bad?
No.
Oh.
Lots of guys have funky delivery. And here he comes to deliver on second down. Sidearms that one, but well short of the intended receiver, Nicholas Lewis. That'll bring up third down. And the Stampeders will try their second field goal of the game.
Well, tough for any quarterback to throw when you've got a defensive end right in your face. And John Turntine, who's really done a nice job in the support role in the defensive line for Ottawa, was right there against him. Matt Dunnigan, boy, oh boy, Gord, the only thing I worry about with Matt is, does he have the players that have the motivation and the drive and the passion that he had as a player and will have as a coach? And I don't know.
From the 25. Hebert puts it up, and it's good. 2 field goals for the Calgary Stampeders here in the opening quarter. 3:45 to go, and the Stampeders lead by 6. Back here in Ottawa, where the most intense Calgary Stampeder wears a baseball hat and a headset.
Well, no question. Matt Dunnigan, we had a great chat with him yesterday, and he's frustrated. And I think a lot of the frustration comes from his players really maybe don't have the attitude that he has towards the game and the way it should be played. And I could see that. That's why I could never coach. I wouldn't. I couldn't take it.
Darnell Kennedy swinging that ball out quickly, but not much doing there as the pass is caught by Jason Armstead. He is bottled up very quickly for a loss of a yard.
That's pretty unusual play there. Normally when you throw that, you have a couple of guys out in front trying to lead block. They had no blockers at all, and the only time you would run that is if you thought there was nobody in the area except 1-on-1 to the outside, but that wasn't the case. Look at how many Stampeders were out there. A pretty unusual call.
Market is no gain. 2nd and 10. Kennedy again from the shotgun. Joe Fleming applying some pressure. And mopping up is once again John Grace, who is turning into Ottawa's worst nightmare.
And I'll tell you who really made the play, though, was Joe Fleming for John Grace. They're only rushing 4 people. Watch Fleming right here. He comes down and engages 2 people. That allows John Grace to come to the outside. This is the second time they've run this stunt. See how Ottawa misses it? That's the second time they've run it. It's the second time Grace has got in there. Joe Fleming takes 2 people, and John Grace gets all the headlines.
And as Fleming leads the field, Pat Fleming comes back on once again to punt for the Ottawa Renegades. Calgary has enjoyed tremendous field position in this first quarter. And Nicholas Lewis is back to receive the punt. You know, Leaf, when you look at Calgary, this is a good defensive team. They rank in the top half of the league in most defensive categories, as Ottawa takes a time count violation penalty. The problem has been offensively, this team has not been able to take advantage of its opportunity.
And what they do too, with an offense that throws the ball as much as they do, they can be a lot of 2-and-outs, and you simply can tire your defense out too. I mean, there's Denny Crehan. He's the defensive coordinator in the middle of your screen, and I don't think personnel-wise it's a bad defense. A lot of people don't like 3-4. I don't mind it, and you're right. I think they have played reasonably well.
Fleming just gets it away, and Lewis gets hammered at the 40-yard line. Serge Sejour gets downfield and makes the stop. Here's Michael Whalen.
Interesting aspect of Joe Paopau's coaching is that he gets all his players to line up numerically for the national anthem, from Kelly Wilshire all the way down to Haywood. And what he does is he emphasizes to his players that they play in the nation's capital and they should be respectful of the fact that they are here and that they're lucky enough to play in Canada.
And I applaud that. I'm an old school guy, and when the team is lined up, look at the coaches there to the left. I think that's crisp. I think it's a discipline, and I really applaud Joe Paopau and his entire team for doing that.
Tommy Jones once again hanging up. Reginald fumble. And Ottawa has it. The first real break for the Renegades comes. As jumping on that football was number 9, Clinton Wayne.
Well, the youngster from Ohio State, there he is, 90, right in the middle of your screen, and Reginald, a hit from the outside by Gerald Vaughn, knocks it loose. Clinton Wayne, his brother Patrick Wayne, was a linebacker here for many years in Ottawa, and the Ottawa I did it. Good for one a game, Ottawa Rough Riders. I admit it, I always do it. I don't care. The Renegades get a turnover.
I'm just trying not to call them Senators, so don't feel badly.
That's right. Well, here's where they could start to. They've had nothing going so far. Here's where they've got to take control.
Banks is back in the game for Ottawa. Throwing on the run, incomplete for Darrell Ray. And so Darnell Kennedy is back on the sidelines for Ottawa. And Brad Banks, who had not seen any Canadian Football League action prior to this game, throws it incomplete.
Well, he made a great move to buy himself some extra time, but he just couldn't complete the pass.
Darnell Kennedy, who last year was a quarterback for Calgary, was desperate to play for them. And you had to know that today he wanted a chance against his former team. So it's a bitter pill for him to swallow as he stands on the sideline.
Well, I guess what surprises me, though, Gord, is they never tried to establish Josh Ronick with a young quarterback in the first quarter. And to me, that's just amazing.
And now Banks fumbles the snap. He's in all kinds of trouble, and he is down on the wrong side of midfield. Sheldon Napastuck brings him down. And the crowd in Ottawa is not pleased.
Well, it's not what they've been used to seeing. And Joe Paopau says, come on, get off the field. You know, at least with midfield here, you're going to get some kind of pin Calgary deep, at least with this field position. But, you know, as a coach, this is tough because you don't want your third-string quarterback in there. Injuries necessitated that, it looks like, this far. And things have just not been overly crisp, to say the least, in the first quarter.
Flags are down. Fleming gets the punt away. Falls, but there's no flag on that. Lewis watches it roll down to the 10 and gets up to the 13, and there's a flag down there as well. You mentioned Josh Ronick, the CFL's leading rusher. He has 2 carries for -1 yard. And Paopau is having a team meeting.
Paopau is having a powwow.
Yeah. And as my colleague Pierre Maguire likes to say, I think he's giving them the weather, not the news.
Yeah.
Paopau steams, and Ottawa trails by 6.
cholesterol is a tough opponent because even if you're in top shape, you could have a cholesterol problem and be hit by heart disease. So if one of these criteria applies to you, or if you have 2 or more of these risk factors, speak to your doctor about being tested for high cholesterol. You want to know more? Call this number or visit this website. Play like a winner. Get tested. It could change your life.
Joe Palpao listening on as the penalties are sorted out here in Ottawa.
Offside, Calgary 39. Penalties decline. No yards, 5-yard penalty. Ottawa. First down.
That will give the Calgary Stampeders their worst drive start of the game. They'll start at their own 16-yard line. Palpao's Ottawa Renegades, Leaf, won their first 3 games of the year. They've dropped 3 straight, but a very tough schedule for a team that opened with Winnipeg twice, Toronto twice, Edmonton and Montreal. The Renegades have to be not displeased with their 3-3 record.
Yeah, but the trouble is they travel to BC next week, so you know they're looking at this game as critical to just get them above 500.
Jones from the shotgun, quickly to the sideline to Connell. He'll make the catch for a gain of 7 up to the 22-yard line.
And again, this will be key for a young quarterback, or any quarterback. What can he do on first down to make his situation just that much easier? And that time, Connell, easy, quick out. They're giving him lots of room. 6 yards now, 2nd and 4, and it's a lot better than those 2nd and long situations. You can open up your whole offense now, and you can even run if you want to, which they don't do very often.
Regenbald on play action moves up the block, and the pass is fired out there and caught as Celicio Sanford makes the grab and has a first down up to the 35-yard line. And Celicio Sanford is up and limping. Scott Regenbald has been busier in this game than a Calgary running back's been all season.
Well, here's Sanford, just a little loop out there. He gets some blocking downfield from McGarity, a little block on the outside, and once again, when you only need 4 and you can throw an easy completion like that, it's pretty good offense.
Should be the final play of the opening quarter. Calgary with a 6-0 lead. Jones swings it out. And making the grab and a pretty good run with it as well as Nicholas Lewis, who goes up to the 40-yard line, close to another first down for the Stampeders as the first quarter comes to an end on Wendy's CFL Live.
At the Quarter, brought to you by Reebok, the only brand that hangs in every CFL locker.
Couple of field goals by Calgary, which is certainly not exciting, but they could prove to be very valuable by the way this game is going. There's really only one way to say it, guys. That was one of the uglier quarters we have seen in a long time.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah, it was bad. It's not pretty, and this is the type of game maybe you could have expected with 2 young, inexperienced quarterbacks.
Well, that's the whole issue, but they're inexperienced for 2 different reasons. When you look at Tommy Jones, he doesn't know when to give up on a play. There comes a point where the play is over, you're in the grasp of the defender, and you've got to give it up. Right now, he's completely off balance. His footwork is shattered. There's no reason to try to even retain possession of the ball. Just go down, give up on the play. But with Darnell Kennedy, it's a little bit different because right at this moment here, see how he hesitates? He has to step up into the pocket. Yes, that's a poor block by an offensive lineman, but the quarterback could have helped him a lot by stepping up. He felt that rush, and he saw it at the same time. He has to improve. And we'll see what Brad Banks can do, Jock.
And Schultz, when teams go back and look at their season and ask themselves why they won or lost football games, they're never going to go back and see. They might go back and see how many what games they won the turnover battle, what game they lost the turnover battle, but they're never going to go back and see which game how many times did they get sacked versus sack the opponent. Don't be afraid to take sacks if you're the quarterback. Obviously, we have an ugly football game here, David, but it makes for its own interesting sort of football when you have 2 young quarterbacks in there.
And if you want to talk sacks, John Grace is fine with that. He'll keep adding to the stats all night long.
Yes, he will.
No first downs, no passing yards, -1 rushing. And when you factor in 3 sacks, they have -42 net yards. The assessment of the panel, bang on. A sloppy opening quarter. Calgary opens the second on 2nd and short. Jones, play fake, has time, now under pressure to the sideline and incomplete. And he was looking down there for Nicholas Lewis and couldn't quite get it to him.
Well, here's where to me it defies logic to have second and that's not even really one. And you throw like that, and it only tells me that you're going to gamble on third down if you do that, because, you know, why don't you run the football, pick up the first down? You've got a young quarterback. You want to string some first downs together. He ends up taking a hit from Fleiser, but I can only assume that from their own 40-yard, 39-yard line, they're going to gamble here. But I really honestly believe when you got a young quarterback in there, make first downs. And on second and short, I don't know why in the world you wouldn't run it.
And third now and a long yard for Calgary. Flags are down. Ottawa look to jump. Jones crosses the 40-yard line and should have the first down, but the penalty should make it easier for Calgary. Joe Paopau's team, Leaf, 4 times already this season has had double digits in penalties.
They've really hurt themselves on their 3-game losing skid, especially.
Offside, Ottawa 99. First down.
Jerome Haywood is offside, so a free one for Calgary. 16 penalties last week against the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, it's terrible. And the game here that they won against Toronto had a penalties in that, so they just kind of traded places.
And Jones goes back to the shotgun on 1st and 10 from his own 44. Here comes the rush. Jones gets it away, and the ball is dropped. Albert Connell in tight coverage couldn't hang on, as his quarterback Tommy Jones had problems of his own.
Well, both defenses getting all kinds of pressure on the quarterbacks tonight. Jerome Hayward right in the face that time of Tommy Jones. There it is. And Jones is strong. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. He's able to still stay up and try to deliver a pretty good pass. But you see the ball was wobbling, and that's because Jerome Haywood had a hold of him.
George McCullough got a hand in there as well to knock the ball out. 2nd and 10. Jones, lots of time. Over the middle, incomplete and almost intercepted. That went through 2 pairs of hands, and Kelly Wiltshire was the last one who almost made the grab.
Well, that was a rocket thrown by Tommy Jones, but McGarity, there was no way he was going to hang on to it. And, you know, in the warm-up, Gord, he was high a lot to his receivers, and just seemed to, you know, you and I both commented, like the offense didn't look overly smooth in the warm-up, and that sometimes isn't a great indicator, but to me, you know, I like warm-ups to be crisp, boom, get your job done, get off the field, get ready for the game, and I don't think it was too crisp.
When you struggle against air, it's not usually a good sign.
That's right.
Jason Armstead back for the punt from Charlie Hebert. Armstead from his 17-yard line. And Armstead finds a seam, gets out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. His Renegades still down by 6.
19 of the top 20, although Agassi was bounced today. But 19 of the top 20 players in the world in that tournament. What a credit to them.
Brad Banks continues to work at quarterback for Ottawa from the shotgun on 1st down. Hands it off, and the ball is loose. The Stampeders have it. Mike Maurer with the carry. Only his 2nd carry of the year. And Banks and the offense will make their way off the field as Scott Coe recovered the ball for the Stampeders.
Well, this is pretty ugly, Gord. There's no way you can sugarcoat this. Pretty poor exchange. Mike Maurer, 19, the fullback, never really had a handle on it. Scott Coe, 56. There you see the recovery. Both teams committing all kinds of turnovers with young quarterbacks in the game. And I don't know, it looked like he put it in there pretty well. And once he gets it in there, it's the running back's responsibility. But once again, the Stampeders with a glorious opportunity to add to this lead.
And you'd have to think that they better take advantage one of these days.
Well, I mean, they got 3 points off 1 turnover, and they're in position to get at least 3 right now. And as they have most of the night, the Ottawa defense is backed against the wall.
On 1st down, Jones under pressure, gets it away. Denny Montana, the former Ottawa Renegade, makes the catch and has his legs cut out from underneath of him by Anthony Malbrough. But still, Montana gets down to the 23-yard line for a gain of 7.
And again, good first down production. But what I like here is to get Tommy Jones outside. Cut the field in half for a young quarterback. You still got 3 receivers out here to work with, but you don't have to. Now, he thinks he's a great cerebral reader of defenses, but trust me, when you're a young quarterback, it's all a blur to you, so I like that. Cut the field in half.
That pass isn't going into the Spiral Hall of Fame either.
He doesn't throw a tight spiral, I'll tell you.
Again from the shotgun, Jones whistles one out there this time. The catch is made, Wayne McGarity, but the tackle is made as well by Malbrough. And that will leave Calgary a couple of yards short of a first down.
Well, you know, Gord, John Jenkins is a friend of mine, and so is Matt. But, I mean, I just can't watch this game and not absolutely think that this offense is so flawed at times when you have 2nd and 2 and you don't run the football. I mean, they lost yardage there. They lost about a half a yard when you have at least 2 tries in that area to pick up 2 yards and keep a drive going. And to me, that is without a doubt the flaw in this system.
Charlie Hebert good from 10 and 25. This from the 32. A line drive, and it too is good. He's accounted for all the scoring for Calgary as the Stampeders lead Ottawa 9-0.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Sports Center Newsroom. I'm Darren Detition. We're going to get you back to the football game in just a moment or two. Let us bring you up to date on some of the other happenings going on in the world.